Welcome. In today's video, I will give you 5 reasons why you should not invest into Bitcoin. Let's go. First of all, I'm Anton, this is Code and Success. On this channel I talk about programming, success, money and other cool things. And this video idea about the Bitcoin came up randomly. Today I was watching a video about a young man, will not call his name, he is a YouTuber, and he is famous for losing very much money on online gambling sites. And when we talk about gambling, I also think about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is for me similar. I'm not a financial expert, I'm not some investment guru or pro, so take my words with a grain of salt. But in the past years I have met many people in my personal life, young men in their early 20s, and they have been playing and gambling around with the Bitcoin, with the NFTs, with some other altcoins, and interestingly all of them lost the money afterwards. I knew a guy a few years ago and he told me he invested all his money into some kind of altcoins and crypto and whatsoever, and he's 1,000,000% sure that he will be financially free in 2024, 2025. So what happened? Sadly, a few months ago I met him and he told me he lost all the money. He only has a few thousands left, which he keeps as insurance, and now has trouble to pay his bills. I've met also other people in my personal life who invested into their wonderful XRP and other crypto assets, and now they're also struggling with their financials. This makes me very sad, and I just want to give here my opinion, especially to the young people, since I know that most people, almost all of the people who watch my channel are from 18 to 30 years old, so I hope some of my words make sense to you. To me, Bitcoin is not an investment, but simply gambling. And these gamblers who made some money with it recently, they have just been lucky in my opinion. I don't want you guys to repeat those mistakes which others have made before you. I don't want you guys to lose your money. I want you guys to invest your money wisely. And for that I have prepared 5 reasons which I hope will convince you not to invest into this imaginary asset. Before I start with my 5 reasons, know that I'm not only talking about Bitcoin, but especially also about all other altcoins like XRP, Cardano and whatever else there is. Reason number 1, it doesn't produce anything. Now, what do I mean here? If you buy a cow, you can feed it, you can invest into it, it will produce many things. It will produce milk for you constantly, and after a while you can kill the animal and you can eat the meat of it. So it produces all the time, and even with a big bonus at the end. You buy real estate, my favorite. You buy an apartment, for example, not for yourself but to rent out. Now you can just rent it out in a normal way, on a monthly basis. You can rent it out as an Airbnb and make a little hotel out of it. You can do many things with it, but it will constantly produce cash flow. Someone will live inside it and in the best case pay for it. Of course there are some people who don't respect the rules, but you find the tenant pays the money, pays the rent for your apartment, and if you get tired of it after a while, after 10 years, 20 years, you want to sell it, you can sell it, and historically you will make a big profit out of it, and usually often tax-free if you hold it long enough. Wonderful, isn't it? You buy stocks. Stocks also rise in value. They all have some history. And in the best case, not all of them, but many of them produce dividends. You can also collect something from them all the time. But Bitcoin, it is just some random numbers on the computer, in the internet. It doesn't produce anything. You have to hope that enough people trust in it, that enough people put their oil, put their money into the fire, into the Bitcoin, to make the price go up and up and up. But it doesn't do anything. And you have to hope that, and I see on the Twitter, on the X of the Elon Musk, there's enough people who invest all their life savings into this trash, and their only strategy is that they make it to the top, that Bitcoin rises to $1 million, out of why I don't know, and then hopefully they can cash it out. Now to me this doesn't seem very logical. What will you do until then? Will you still keep working and working until that number is high up enough? And then once it's high enough, once let's say you have a 1 Bitcoin and you sell it and for $1 million, like if it gets to $1 million, what then? You still have to live somehow with it, and you will not just keep the $1 million in the bank and just take money from it all the time. This will get you nowhere. Agreed? Reason number 2. Who created it? Now, what do I mean here? Most of you guys know that some guy named Satoshi Nakamoto created this Bitcoin. And we all know it's just some alias, it's just some secret name, some nickname. And the guy is probably not Japanese, but we don't know who it is. Some say it is the CIA. Some say it is some random government. Some say it was Putin who created the Bitcoin. I don't know. And you also don't know. But don't you find it weird to put your hard-earned money into something very new and you don't even know who created it? And for what? Well, for the reason to decentralize, to not be a victim of the banks. But do you think people have their best interest in you? Couldn't it be that someone is just playing a very big game to profit very much off of you? I don't know. But if someone gives me some random soup and I ask, oh cool, who made this? And people say, oh, we don't know, it just came to you. I would not eat it. And I don't know why you guys buy this stuff when you don't even know who made it. And the guy who created the Bitcoin, he still has millions or billions of the coins in his wallet and didn't even do anything with them. I find this very suspicious. You might think, oh, this guy must be a saint, must be a hero. He must be well off not to touch his money, or he must have a secret master plan in his mind. Well, I don't think that guy who created it has good intentions with it. Reason number 3. There is no security. Like, you buy the real estate and you know, aha, these walls, these are mine, this is mine. I can touch it. I can rent it out, I can sell it to someone. There is a need. People have been owning and renting out for thousands of years. People have been buying stocks for over a century and selling them and making money off of them. And stocks are just part of shares, the value of a company. So this is the security. If tomorrow Adidas stops producing their clothes, their shoes, then there's a problem. But historically Adidas makes good products and still continues to make good products. And Bitcoin arrived here 15 years ago. It doesn't do anything, it has no value. You don't even know who made it. You cannot cash it out directly, you have to cash it out through some other websites like Binance or whatever. Where's your security? You live in China, for example. China now banned already all the Bitcoin, all the altcoins. Where's your security? Your governments can just say, okay, we work with the euros, we work with the dollars. We don't like this crypto, let's ban it. What do you do then? You will have maybe millions lying around on the Binance or somewhere else, and then you cannot cash it out because it's illegal or something like that. What if websites just take your money and run away with it? Of course you have your cold wallet and whatever, but you have to agree, there's no real security as when you have some stocks or you have some real estate or you have some gold lying around. There the security risk is of course much smaller. Of course governments could also ban them or restrict them, but it has been around for such a long time. And if a stock market crashes like 100 years ago at the Black Friday, then we have completely other problems than that. But overall, you worked 40 hours, 60 hours per week, 200 hours maybe per month for, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. All that hard work to put into something so volatile, so unstable. Is that wise from you? Isn't that simply gambling, as also betting your money on black at the roulette table? Reason number 4. It has no value. Simple. Where's the value of that? The only little value I can see is simply the fact that it's trackable. Like I send some Bitcoin to someone through the blockchain and now everyone can see this transaction, how much was sent to somewhere. And even that I don't really see as a value. Because, of course, I might be wrong, but if I have the public address of my wallet, if I'm famous or something, I don't want to see other people like snooping around. Where do I send something? What do I receive? Of course, you can work around through it, but it all seems like not worth it after all. It doesn't produce anything. You cannot grab it. It's just some bits and bytes on the internet. Okay, this may be crazy, but what if someone turns off the internet? Like something happens, World War III, all the internet is taken down, where's your Bitcoin? Nowhere. Your real estate will still be there. Your gold will hopefully not be stolen. The stocks are still there. And your Bitcoin? Only because there's also scarcity like this. 21 million coins. It doesn't make it valuable. I can also have a box here with 4 rocks inside it. It doesn't mean that the billionaires will knock on my door to like invest into my rocks that I have in my box. No. People only invest because other people somehow also buy this and there's a little bit of trust. But not the trust that fiat has, that gold has, real estate, stocks. To me it has no value. Reason number 5. It's too new. And what do I mean here? Owning property, owning land has been there since the beginning of times, since there was enough people. Owning stocks has also been around for over a century. Gold, silver, salt, oil, also been around for mankind. And now the internet started, some random guy or entity introduced the blockchain and the Bitcoin 15 years ago, and now you think this is a good investment. After all what I've said, after all my concerns, I really don't think why invest in something which is historically valid. Real estate, stocks, and even gold or silver. Why not that? Why do you have to gamble? Why do you have to hope to get out of the rat race by gambling not through the casino but through cryptocurrency? Because it is nothing else than gamble. You have to agree. You know too little about it. You don't know the players who play around with it. You're just a little pawn. You and me. We are little pawns in a big chess game. And people like Michael Saylor, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, whatever, they all invest millions and billions into these things, and they play a very different game than you and I do. You have to agree. And they tell you to buy those things. Oh, this will be good for mankind, whatever, invest into Dogecoin. I don't care. Do you think they care about you? They really don't care about us. No, not at all. They just want us to put money into it to make them richer. What happened to Donald Trump's coin? What happened to Melania Trump's coin? Didn't they scam you? As far as I know, they have scammed you and nothing happened to them. Isn't that crazy? And you still invest into this nonsense. This is simply gambling. This is simply same as when I tell you, go to the casino, there's a new game called poker, there's a new game called roulette, and you can make money there. But even poker is much better than that because it relies on your skill. This is simply gambling and hoping the value goes up. Based on what? Based on some billionaire companies buying it and doing their own stuff, based on some Nakamoto telling you this is a great idea, based on the historical rise. I believe it will crash down after a while, because now this is the train, everyone is hoping, everyone is jumping on it, driving the price up, but where's the value? Like, you can discuss with me, you can tell me I'm wrong, I'm open to hear it, but from my point of view, this really is not an investment, this is simply gambling, and this has a high chance of making you poor. And I really urge you, don't buy any Bitcoin, don't buy any altcoins. Do what your ancestors did. Invest into property, invest into gold, invest into stocks, anything that has some substance. If you don't have the money to buy those things for property, you can take a loan or just work a little bit longer. It may be boring. It may be not as cool as being some Instagram influencer who made millions last month and now buys the mansion, now buys the Bitcoin, whatever, and you hope to get out of the race much sooner, but the world doesn't work like this. Of course, you can be lucky, you can buy lottery tickets and win. It doesn't mean that it will happen to you, and I heard way more people that broke down financially from this crypto than people who won from it. So please, think wisely before you buy any of it. That's all. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.